Hey sewing friends, so this is the Merchant & Mills Geo Top and Dress. It's a little hard to see because they do this thing where they scrunch the stuff. I've talked about that before. I don't like that. But look at the back. You get a really clear idea of what this top and dress looks like. And this is the top version. I've made this before, but I'm going to make another one and I'm going to color block it. So let me show you what I'm going to do. So I have a couple of scrap fabrics here. I have a stripe. I have kind of I'll call it a washed solid, right? It's got a little bit of modeling to it. And then I have this print. Now all of these at one time I think were made into baby slings. In fact, I may have even used these two together to make into baby slings because I used to do that a lot as gifts, mostly in charity things. So I'm gonna make the body of the top, that is this section right here, out of this fabric. It's bold, it's bright, I think it's gonna work really well. And then I'm gonna make this skinny strap out of this striped fabric. And I'll do the stripes vertically like this, okay? So it's gonna be, basically, you'll see all the striping. And then I'm gonna make the other strap, which is this wider strap, out of this blue fabric here. And then there's also facings on the inside, so I'll accommodate for that with some of the scraps they have. So these are all scraps. So I have 1, 2, and then basically 3. So that's more or less what this top is going to look like when it's done, which I think is pretty cool. Now, I have about 2 weeks before I'm headed away on a trip. My husband and I are going to go away. And so I'd really like to have this top to bring. It's going to be very vibrant and fun. I also have 2 bags that I want to make, like 2 small bags, a really small bag for my phone to carry around at a concert, and then another crossbody bag. So I'm going to be pulling out a bunch of scraps and kind of working with that, maybe even some of these scraps to work with that for these bags. And I should be able to get 2 bags and a shirt done in that amount of time. So wish me luck. I'm gonna have to buckle down and finally get going on this. So I did pull out the pattern, which is at least a start to make that top. And again, this is the Geo by Merchant & Mills. And I've made this before. So I cut this out originally, I think in a size 16, and it was a little bit too big. And then this was several years ago, and I made it, and then I cut it smaller. Like I literally just sewed it up and cut it smaller, like cut off the part that I made smaller, which was kind of stupid because now I need it to be bigger. So I'm going to actually go back and make it in the 16 that I had made before. This is a really fun top. It's good. You can see it's kind of suitable for a fairly structured fabric. Like this isn't a linen here, but it's really good for these quilting cottons, which tend to be fairly structured even when they're washed. So hopefully that will work out pretty well, and it'll be fun. And I get to use some scraps. So I'm really big into using scraps right now. I'm kind of feeling the weight of the size of my stash, and I'm feeling the weight of the world and all of the stuff that we discard. So as much as possible, I'm trying to use my scraps in something. I took a bunch of scraps that I was never going to sew with, and I put them inside of cushions on my front porch furniture. But I freely admit that I have actually unzipped that furniture and went and looked for some of those scraps to make into a project. And I may very well do that for those 2 bags, because I know there's some things in there that I really like, like some hand-dyed stuff that I did that were just small little pieces that would be perfect. So don't mind me. I'm just going to unzip my patio furniture and go in and grab out the scraps that I stuck in there. I think the most important thing about working with scraps is that really keeping the concept in mind of the colors and things that you want to work with, and being focused on making the reuse really work well for you. So all of these things really work well together, and I think it's going to be a blast to use. So looking forward to it. I'll be sewing it this weekend probably, or at least starting it this weekend. It's so hard to sew when it's beautiful and sunny out, isn't it? So I may actually take my sewing machine out onto my deck and sew outside, just to be outside and do some sewing at the same time. So stay tuned.